Alright y'all, what's good? This is Joe, Asia Travel Guy, and today I'm talking about the major differences I've seen thus far between my time in China and my time in Japan. So there's a lot of them. Let's go. Alright, so one major difference I've seen between China and Japan is definitely the driving. So driving in China is basically you got a whole bunch of lanes and they're more of suggestions. They're not really law, so if you see a car driving in one lane, you may think he's just gonna go straight, but then you see him zigzag across two other lanes. Like for example, if you have like a 4-lane highway, it's just all like this. This is how cars drive. If you can drive like this in the 3D world, up, down, and in between, like that, all this stuff, China would be the place to see it, so yeah, there's very few rules to the road, except if you hit somebody, then you have to pay fines, and if you hurt them bad enough, you have to pay their work something, and I don't know, but yeah, there are very few rules to the road. Whereas in Japan, you have very strict laws to the road. It's so strict that some of the lanes in very busy intersections are colored, so like red would mean straight, blue lane would be like turn right or turn left. I see green bike lanes, so it's a very strict rule set in Japan, along with everything else. So it's very, very intensely looked after with the streets in Japan. Next big difference I've seen in China and Japan is garbage. Why is garbage different? It's very different in these two countries. For example, in China you will have near your apartment, usually this is big dumpster. You just dump anything in there, anything, wires, paper, glass, anything in one dump, and then they put into some landfill somewhere. In Japan, they're very, very, very strict. You have hold on, let me see, hold on. Okay, so as you can see, you have like the black writing. Basically these black bags are plastic and plastic packages, something like that. Now I know in some areas in Japan the garbage is different, but in all areas you have to separate your garbage, so you separate the plastic containers in this bag, the black one, at least in Okazaki City. So the red one, this is for like burnable stuff, food and maybe some kind of like hard plastics. Basically, technically anything can go in this bag, but they highly suggest you just put the right stuff in the right bag. So this is mainly for food. So yeah, very, very specific garbage. And this one is for PET bottles, basically those big plastic bottles. Yeah, there's like two other kinds in Okazaki, like one for cardboard, which is green. I don't have too many cardboard things, but those are the main three that I use on a weekly basis. And each day you have to go outside and drop your bag next to the gate where there's a yellow mesh net, and you put it there on the exact day. So perfect example, I was maybe 2 days ago, I mixed up the garbage days because it was the cardboard day and I put the burnable stuff out there. This old Japanese dude saw me, he said, no, it's burnable day. I'm like, alright, cool. So I was gonna go back put it at the house, and then he's like, hurry up. I'm like, alright, damn, hold up. And then these two other Japanese ladies come up out of nowhere, surrounding me, trying to get this garbage. I'm like, yo, y'all doing too much. It's like 8 a.m. Surrounding me for some damn garbage and shit. Damn. And then I came back to go to school on that same street. This old man is riding his bike in circles, making sure I actually went back and put my garbage back in the house. I'm like, yo, you have nothing better to do. You are truly retired, aren't you? Oh my gosh, you have nothing better to do with your time right now. Anyway, that's the garbage. Okay, so expensiveness of just life, so food, clothes, traveling, so much more cheaper in China. 3-hour train ride from like Taiyuan City to Xi'an City was like 178 RMB, which is what, let's see, 6, 12, 18, maybe about 6, 12, 18, 30, 40 bucks ish. And then that same ride in Japan is probably going to be like 70, 80 bucks, you know, so it's much more expensive in Japan. Food and clothing, same thing. So I would say if you want to come to Japan, Japan is a very clean and very cool place. It's a very there's a high standard of living here. Where in China is still developing, so everything is a lot cheaper in China. Whereas Japan is already there. They've been there, you know, so their stuff is top notch, you know, so it's cool. But yeah, that's expensiveness. Oh, pollution. Pollution, there is almost none in Japan, if there is any at all. But I will say what Japan lacks in pollution, it makes up for in radiation because of that earthquake and reactors going off and everything. So just be careful with the radiation. But yeah, with the pollution, China takes the cake on that one, you know. So I think recently they just hit their biggest pollution hike ever at like 1,400, and that's like, I don't know how much over the scale of the top 500 cap for the pollution rating. But yeah, it was funny because where I lived in China before, it wasn't too far from that spot. So that's hard times over there, man. It's just you know, and I call my friends every day to make sure they're okay over there. But it's yeah, it's crazy. So, but yeah, I guess last thing is, last thing is cleanliness. Japan is super clean. Like I said, with the garbage, everything has to be separated. Like on the T, everything has to be like perfectly done all the time. Even like my house, I keep that stuff super clean, just because in Japan the people respect the land so well and nature so well that even in your own home you feel like it's almost a sin to have your home dirty, you know. So but yeah, that's one thing. And then China, there's trash everywhere. And because my thing in China, what people have told me is that people will throw the trash on the ground because they know someone's going to pick it up. I don't really agree with that logic, and I mean it makes sense, you know, but it's just like, you know, why would you make someone else's job harder, you know? So, but I don't know, it's China. Anyway, that's it. And if there's any more comparisons you want to know between China and Japan, I'll get some of my other friends who have been here a lot longer than I have, and we can do another video about other things. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Alright, y'all, Asia Travel Guy out. Peace.